Hi guys, it's Miss Murphy coming to you from the beautiful mountains of northern New Mexico. We're going to do a science lesson today, and the theme of the lesson is antlers. Before we get started with the lesson, I want you to gather a few supplies because we're going to do a craft at the end of the lesson. I would like for you to try to find some kind of sticks that might look like antlers. Little branchy sticks, any little sticks. I would like for you to find some kind of tape, like masking tape or painter's tape, maybe even Scotch tape would work. Some kind of clay, like modeling clay. This is that Model Magic, or even if you have Play-Doh, you could use that. And probably a few Q-tips to poke some holes with. So I'm going to put that on the screen, the list of supplies you need, and you can pause it and go try to gather your supplies.
After moose, elk are the largest member of the deer family, and they're a major part of the Canadian creature story. Like other deer, elk spend a lot of time chowing down on grass, herbs, and a large variety of woody plants. Now, only male elk have antlers, which they use to attract female attention. And if they don't succeed at getting female attention, they may use their antlers to challenge the bull who is.
In the summer, antlers are pretty small because they're just starting to grow.
But in the fall, woo, they're huge!
And the bigger your antlers, the better chance you have of winning at head-to-head combat!
Bull elk will antler joust to compete over mating rights. But it's not as bad as it looks. It's really a test of strength, and their antlers are shaped to catch the other bulls. So it may look rough, but most of the time, neither of them will get hurt.
No, people.
But getting antlers unlocked, that's another matter.
And then 1, 2, 3, blow! Now let's go.
That video talked about antlers, particularly elk antlers, but I also want to talk to you about horns. They're different from antlers. They are made up of a bony core. They never fall off of the animal. They're covered in a hard substance called keratin. That is what your fingernails are made of. Feel your fingernails. See how hard they are? Also feel your bony elbow. That is how hard horns could be. They can be on males or females. And remember, they never fall off. Some of the animals are bison, antelope, bighorn sheep, but we also have our common farm animals, like this goat. Can you think of another farm animal that has horns that never fall off? Why, the Texas Longhorn. He's got some really long horns, and he keeps them his whole life. But antlers are very different. The main difference in the antlers is that they fall off each year. They grow all year long and fall off in the spring. They're made of calcium and phosphorus, and the animals have to eat a lot so that their antlers grow really well. They're covered with a fuzzy skin. We call it velvet. Touch your cheek. That is what an antler could feel like. They are deciduous. That means that they drop off each year. Deciduous. They shed them each year, and we actually call them shed. I found this one in the woods around spring break time. Only males have antlers, except for the caribou and the reindeer. Okay guys, I wanted to show you some of the antlers that we have acquired up here in the mountains. This is the little deer antler. If you look at the bottom, you can see what I was talking about with the marrow. It looks like the marrow where it's all bumpy. That's how you can oftentimes tell them from a branch. When we're walking in the mountains, we see a lot of branches that look like antlers, but you always look at the end because it's got to have that bumpy end on it or it's probably not an antler. Here's some deer antlers. This is a pair. Apparently, it looks like they came off the same animal. Not sure. This is called a fallow deer. This is beginning to kind of look like a moose. They have much wider branches on their antlers. These are getting bigger. These are elk antlers. Really big. I have a pair of those as well. We think they're a pair. They were probably found separately, but they could have been a pair. And then the last ones I want to show you are the really big elk antlers. Look how long they are, about 3 feet long. I would guess that this elk was at least 5 or 6 years old, maybe older. I wanted to show you our chandelier that's made out of fake antlers. People like to decorate with antlers a lot. In this house we also have a mounted deer. Not sure where we got this. We didn't get the animal ourselves. And then we have another piece of artwork using an antler. Someone has drilled holes in it and put feathers that they found in the woods. Okay, now it's time to make our antler craft. Hopefully you've been able to gather your supplies. We wanted some sticks, some kind of tape, masking or painter's tape, hopefully some modeling clay or Play-Doh, and we'll get started. Okay, so I went out in the yard and I found some sticks, little branches that might look like antlers. So what I'm going to do is take a couple of these sticks and position them in a way that really looks good, and I'm going to tape them together. With masking tape or painter's tape. Something like that. Okay, here's one that I did previously. That's our first step. Okay, so I've got my branches covered with my Model Magic. And now I'm going to do one more thing on the bottom of the antlers where they break off from the animal's head. You're going to always see a little bumpy area like this. And I'm going to poke holes in it and make it look bumpy. It's called the marrow. You're seeing the marrow of the bone. Okay, so I'm going to do that all around it. I'll show you some real ones in a minute. And I'm going to get it shaped just like I want it. And then I'm going to let this dry overnight. Just the way I want it. This is what your ends could look like when you get finished. And now I have a picture of a real antler showing you the bumpy part on the end. And here's another one. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed the lesson on antlers and learned a little bit about the difference between horns and antlers. Remember, horns are just permanent horns, and antlers are like branches that fall off every year, deciduous. Now, for a little fun, maybe while you're working on your craft, we've recorded a book for you called Imogene's Antlers. Hope you have a fabulous day. I've enjoyed teaching you this lesson. See you next time.
Imogene's Antlers by David Small. On Thursday, when Imogene woke up, she found she had grown antlers. Getting dressed was difficult, and going through the door now took some thinking. Imogene started down for breakfast, but got hung up. Oh, Imogene's mother fainted away. The doctor poked and prodded and scratched his chin. He could find nothing wrong. The school principal glared at Imogene, but he had no advice to offer. Her brother Norman consulted the encyclopedia and then announced that Imogene had turned into a rare form of miniature elk. Imogene's mother fainted again and was carried upstairs to bed. Imogene went into the kitchen. Lucy, the kitchen maid, had her sit by the oven to dry some towels. "Lovely antlers," said Lucy. The cook, Mrs. Perkins, gave Imogene a donut, then decked her out with several more and sent her into the garden to feed the birds. "You'll be lots of fun to decorate come Christmas," said Mrs. Perkins. Later, Imogene wandered upstairs. She found the whole family in Mother's bedroom. "Donuts, anyone?" she asked. Her mother said, "Imogene, we have decided there is only one thing to do. We must hide your antlers under a hat." Norman telephoned the milliner. At 3 o'clock, the milliner arrived. Rapidly, he sketched a few designs, then set to work. "Voila!" said the milliner. "Bravo! Bravissimo!" cried his assistants. Thud. Imogene's mother had to be carried away once more. After dinner, Imogene practiced her piano lesson. Then, yawning, she folded her music, kissed the family, and went to bed. Imogene sighed, remembering the long, eventful day. On Friday, when Imogene woke up, the antlers had disappeared. When she came down to breakfast, the family was overjoyed to see her back to normal. Until she came into the room.